Yeah, I was parked just like that. The rain started falling. It was a wellness check by the Watertown PD, which, as a human, I actually appreciate. When I made the choice to pull over, which was a very well-being choice because I had been up for many hours, over 30. That was my own fault and my own choice because I run on Energizer batteries. But I started to run out of those batteries as I drove down this very familiar road. So I thought I was doing the right thing by stopping to relieve myself by the tree. It started raining a little bit heavier and it was a little chilly. For some reason, as I get older, I get colder. Some told me that would happen. I got back into my Saab. It was a piece of shit. When it rained, it actually ran like shit. I was supposed to be going to a place out in Framingham after I went home to change and clean up. There was records to be made. I set a record that night for a bad fucking decision. Sometimes, keep going through hell because the devil doesn't even know you're there yet is definitely something that you should do. I was driving the speed limit down this road. Again, a very, very familiar road to me. I'm also familiar with dual jurisdiction. As a kid and a hoodlum back in the day in the 80s and 90s, dual jurisdiction meant you don't want to mess around on this road because the registry police patrolled it. There's no such thing anymore. And then the MDC police patrolled it, and I became very good friends with a lot of them because where I hung out was their jurisdiction in a lot of places, and they were good people if you were honest with them. I learned how to be honest with police, but I also learned very early how not to answer questions that I didn't have to from police. It's not as though I disdain police. They protect and serve us. And they're there when we call 911. I wish more people would call 911. I wish more people would understand what 911 is. It's tatted on my right arm. It was a date. That's a different story. I got back into the Saab, and my exhaustion had the best of me. I fell asleep. Exactly as I dreamed I would a mile before, as I made the decision to pull over and sit on this bench that I'm sitting on right now to fall asleep at, which I wrote many sonnets and many chapters of my life down on paper before, because it's a wonderful view, especially at sunset. And because I left the keys in the ignition of the middle of the console of the Saab, the wellness checked turned into Watertown Police Dispatch, calling the state police, in my judgment, way ahead of time. As far as I know, protocol is Watertown is on the scene of their jurisdiction, conducting whatever procedure they called in. And then when they call back to check in, dispatch and the police on the scene make the decision of whether or not to involve the state police. Because once the state police are involved in the dual jurisdiction road that this is, the state police become handcuffed on their decision-making process due to protocol. I'm pretty sure I'm correct in saying this. I'm not a police officer. I'm not an attorney. I'm just a citizen trying to get my fucking life back. I tell this story unplanned at this very moment. And I'm pretty excited that I'm able to share it with myself right now, and I hope you're listening. But because the keys were in the center console, that wellness check turned into the state police being handcuffed to the extent of having to do a roadside sobriety check. I just woke up to scariness to me. I'm someone who jumps at loud sounds to my left and right, yet I can stand next to a speaker at a hip-hop show because that's my environment. My environment is not someone beeping from behind me. I get nervous and scared real quick, let alone the fact that I was passed out after 30 plus hours of being awake, working 2 full shifts and conducting a show that had 150 people in attendance, and conducting it very well, I might add, until the end. When I had the best night of my life basically ruined before it even happened as it happened. Just a short little while before the main act of the show, which I spent a long time planning with my team, thank you team, and my friends. I had the love of my life basically leave because she had to wake up early in the morning, and man, she helped me through a lot of stuff, and she knows I appreciate that. But that night hurt, man. That fucking night hurt when you left. And I never got to tell you that. And Trooper McCarthy from the state police was wonderful. Gentleman, true gentleman. He said some things I can't repeat on tape. In support of my life, in support of Brett Giuliano at that moment.